actually, because I think what most people don't notice is that your horse putting the shoulder towards you, looking away, is more or less the same as the horse kicking you in the face. And it's not because the horse is mean. I think it's basically because the horse doesn't trust me to take the guard. So the horse is standing, looking away, with the shoulder towards me and taking the guard. And if something happens, the horse will save himself and run off and turn away from the person and then kick the person in the face. Actually, obviously has a tendency to do it. So then I'm just walking away. I'm like, if you want to be together with me, don't put your shoulder towards me and don't put your hind end towards me. But she's a very sweet horse. I don't think there's a bad bone in her body. But all horses are very sweet horses. And still people get kicked and bitten. And I think it's because they don't notice this behavior of putting the shoulder towards someone and looking away. They think that's kind of cute and nice and start petting the horse. And the horse spooks and runs off, turns the hind end towards the person and kicks them in the face. And they are like, the horse kicked me out of nowhere. You know, to me it's kind of obvious what the horse is doing. And the last solution for making a flag, if all you can find is a whip like this, with no hatch in the end, and only a thread. What you can do is to lengthen the thread with the shoelace. And again, I use the boatman's knot, which looks like this, because this is going to hold up from both ends and it's going to be very easy to loosen as well. And then I now use the snippet of the whip that I have lengthened to do my little fantasy knot again. This is probably not going to last like for years and years, but it's, yeah, probably enough for a session or 10. Once your horse knows how to follow your feet and pays attention to you, you probably don't need a flag anymore anyway. You need to tighten it really good, like this. Let's see. Very handy. Yes. So this is how you make your own flag. And I'm also going to show you how you can use it to connect with your horse, actually. And especially the part that I use quite a lot is that I want the horses to follow my feet when I'm leading them and to pay attention to me. So I'll show you kind of a typical way I would use the flag if I was leading a horse. So I have the lead rope here and I have the flag here and I'm walking. And when I stop and the horse doesn't stop, I do like this to reinforce that my feet have stopped. And then the horse usually stop their feet and they also look at the flag. So you both get their attention and you get them stopping their feet. But it's very, very important when you're using the flag that you are aware of what you're doing with the flag. You're not kind of waving it about randomly and suddenly put it up and then take it down again and do a whole lot of stuff with it. So if the horse is behind me now, and I suddenly do like this, the horse is probably going to react to it. So it's a bit like having a loaded water gun. You have to be very mindful of where you have the flag at all times. Okay. So I'm leading here. Bam, param, param. I stop my feet, horse doesn't stop. Wave the flag, horse stops. I put the flag down again. If I'm constantly using the flag to do something, the horse will become desensitized to it, and it will lose its meaning. In addition to the flag, you are going to need a halter with a long lead rope. This is a rope halter with a 12 feet lead rope. And this is a really good equipment, I think, for using when doing groundwork, because you can get the horse at a distance away from you, and you can also use the end of the rope for signaling and make the rope longer. And this is a 12 feet lead rope, and I think with her, with Freya, who is a Norwegian cold-blooded trotter, she is bigger than the Icelandics that I got. So actually with her, I think 14 feet lead rope would have been better. The 12 feet is a little short. But I personally think that if the lead rope is longer than 14 feet, it becomes a bit difficult to handle it. But that is very, very important. So you can't do this with a short lead rope. And also, these halters here are very common and sold in most horse tacks, will make the signaling very unclear because of this ring here. So if I try to signal something to the horse with the lead rope here, the ring is going to slip around and make the signals very unclear. Versus a rope halter, there's nothing that's slipping around. It makes the signals clear. Plus they are quite narrow here on the neck of the horse behind the ears. So it becomes quite clear that something is happening, and it's much more difficult for the horse to lean on the halter. But if you don't have a rope halter, you know, an option can be to have a halter like this, who doesn't have a ring that is slipping around, and who doesn't have, you know, this fake fur or real fur that people are putting here. If you have a halter that looks like a teddy bear and that has a slipping ring like this, and you're trying to then train your horse with a short lead rope like this, you are not going to succeed because of the equipment. And I dare say that what's sold in most horse tacks is more suitable for leading a small dog than it is to lead a horse. Because the lead rope is so short that we always end up in the horse's space. And we can't really ask the horse to pay attention to us in a nice way. We end up doing stuff like this, bumping the lead rope and making the horse upset, versus offering the horse that you take the guard and offering the horse to look at you and relax. Then you need to be a bit further away from the horse. Okay, so if you don't have a rope halter, just use a regular halter without slipping ring and without teddy bear padding. And you can also just buy a rope in a boat shop, a good rope. Usually the synthetics one are crap, But if you find something like this, that's made of cotton and wool and also a bit of silk, I think, then you will have a rope with a good feel that isn't too light but isn't too heavy either. And you can then attach the rope to the halter. I also have another rope here that can be, I don't like these clips, but if you don't have anything else, a long rope with a clip-on can also do the job. Okay, then we are ready. Let's get started. The reason I'm showing you this, how I led her out of the stable, is because if I had been leading her out of the stable, you know, like this, that would be a contradiction to what I want to teach this mare. I want to teach her to have some distance and to pay attention. And the key here is to get the horse at a distance away from you so that the horse can actually see you. So usually I often start by kind of holding quite towards the end of the lead rope, and I start walking and I want her to kind of drag behind and be further away from me. Because if I'm here, she can't see me. I'm in her space and she can't really see me. And the bigger the horse, the further away the horse needs to be. So if I kind of start walking, yeah, this is very nice. And I have her at a distance. And I want outside turns. So I want to turn this way and have her on the outside. Yeah, this is great. I think she's probably quite used to being beside the person who is leading. But by having her on the outside in the turns, she will come further behind me, like this. Yeah. She is quite attentive. And now again, I notice her gazing out. And also now she's not having the shoulder towards me, but she has this kind of cheekbone a bit towards me. That's also a sign. But this was not a bad start at all. She's very sweet and very kind of warm horse. She likes humans, so she has been very well handled. She doesn't seem to be kind of like traumatized or very scared or having huge problems. Because if she had huge problems, I would start with her at liberty and with a greater distance. I wouldn't start doing this. And if she was starting kind of bucking and jumping around and being crazy, I would also just let her loose. But this is also typical of horses who have this problem of focusing and having the person taking the guard, is that they are often standing like that and they are neighing and calling out for other horses. Let's see, I will have to plan my turn. Yeah, here she is. I am going this way and I'm making the lead rope very long. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that was good. She's looking at me. Yes, she is. Very nice. I think I will let her loose. Good girl. This is very nice. Yes, good girl. So this can be a good first session and a good first result. Like, this is what I wanted her to kind of do, and she did it. Yeah, now she's taking the guard a bit again, but that's, you know, what the horse does most, the horse does best. And I think she's been doing this quite a bit. And it's something, it's a bit difficult for us humans to notice this, where the horse has the focus. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. But the end here was actually, you know, she did what I wanted her to do. She looked at me and she stopped with the distance. She didn't kind of come into my space and put her shoulder towards me and started looking around. Yeah, like she's doing now. Let's see if we can get an outside turn. Yes, perfect. Yeah, good girl. This is very nice. Yeah, I have a lick in the chew. That's awesome. A long one too, and a lowering of the neck. This is great. I think I'm going to end there. Yeah. She's like she's reading my mind. Yes, you are. She noticed that little body language I did, was like, I think I'm going to end here. And it's not like the horse can't be in our space and we can't engage with our horse either. But it's more like a question of being able to do both. I will go this way and take an outside turn and see if I can get her eyes on me. Yeah, there I have her eyes. Now I have her eyes. Good. This is a nice way to end.